Everyone good? Okay. So we'll carry on with guard like we've been doing. We're going to try and focus a little bit again on the person standing in the guard, and I'm going to be on my back in a closed guard. We're going to try and open things up a little bit more and try and play with some when the person's trying to pass, but still the focus is on off balancing to try and to sweep and get on top or to attack. Yeah, so that's kind of still what we're still focusing on, that sort of thing, but we are just looking at it from the person standing. Doesn't necessarily have to be a closed guard. Yeah, in fact, we probably won't even start in a closed guard because it's going to be quite difficult for us to do this at the moment. So we're going to be a little bit more open. I just want you to try and focus a little bit while throughout the whole session. I want you to really focus on trying to keep connection as best you can and not just sitting there and waiting for the person to do something or have no connections for the person whatsoever. So we are starting with connection. We may actually start without connection sometimes, but at all points I want you to try and connect to the person with your feet and your hands and try and keep that connection the whole time, okay? Whilst you're trying to achieve the tasks, okay? All right, so something very simple to start with. We're going to start here, feet up by the hips, okay? Person standing. Let's start with both sleeves, okay? So both sleeves, all right? There's my connection, the sleeves, okay? I could, if I'm here with no sleeves, I've got my feet in connection. So I've always got something connecting, yeah? Okay, so the goal for me is to either make Joe sit on the floor, so to try and make her sit, or to get her to put her hands on the floor, yeah? So either hands on the floor or sitting on the floor. Your goal for now is just to try and stay standing, yeah? So you're going to try and be trying to remove connections, trying to do this. My goal is obviously make sit or hands on the floor, but with that subplot, the subplot of trying to keep that connection the whole time, all right? A connection, not that connection, but a connection. Everyone cool? Good? Okay, let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 5. Let's go. Beautiful. Lovely. Just keep pulling the hand away. Yeah. No knee. Oh yeah, so he can't stand. So he's going to be only on the back just because of kneeage. Kneeage. Watch out for the ash sweep. On the floor. Great work. Again, you can change that guard, you can move that into different positions as long as you keep a connection the whole time. I don't care. Ooh, there it is. Hop to freedom. That was hop to freedom. There we go. Good. You okay, mate? Yeah? Where did Harry go? He's on holiday. He's on a cruise. He's on a cruise. Yeah, he's on a cruise. He's a bit young for a cruise. Well, sure you don't mind. Yeah, sure. Ethan's here. Evens up the numbers. So you can't get in? So you can't get in? Yeah, well that's not the point, is it? It's not the point. Hey, lovely. Lovely. Ash, try and get his hands on the floor. Nice. One hand. Nice. Lovely. No. 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 Mr. Redland's going to get annoyed. Yeah, I know. They don't like people using the fire exit, which is fair enough because it's for a fire. Yeah, it's for exiting from a fire, not entering the building. Watch out for the mirror.
Yeah. You could just make that a fire exit.
What, the window?
Yeah. Huh?
Doesn't open, mate. Ooh. Keep those connections. It's great. It's great. It's great. Oh, that's cheeky. Oh, that's cheeky. Well done. That's cheeky. 45 seconds. Lovely. A kip up. Still on the kip ups, isn't you?
Yeah.
Still on the kip ups. Beautiful. Mm. Time. How was that? Good. Where was your positioning? So where was your body position? When you were when the person their weight was going back, so when you were trying to put their hip on the floor, where was your body positioning compared to trying to put their hands on the floor?
Hands on the floor, you're on your back more.
Were you on your back more?
Yeah.
But in relation to the other person, your position was more underneath or less?
Less underneath.
Less underneath if you're pushing back. Yeah. And then if you're going under, if you're trying to put their hands under, you're coming under to lift them up more. Yeah? Cool. That's good. That's good. Okay. Some nice stuff. I saw some nice little tripod sweeps trying to sweep that the back leg a little bit, which was good. Nice stuff. Okay. So let's add another dynamic into it now. So the person on top now can start to try and pass the guard. So try and get round the legs, okay? We're going to try and keep this moving, okay? We're going to try and keep this moving. We're not going to try and stabilize that pass just yet. I want to play around with that on its own. But we're going to try and get past the legs. If you get past the legs to the hip line with your knee, so what do I mean by that? Well, if you're on your back, if you manage to get past the legs and your shin is on the hip, yeah, across the hip line, yeah, then carry on moving and try and allow them to come back and keep that movement going. You don't need to be like, okay, stop, reset. Just allow them to start bringing their leg back in. They start coming back, cool, and then start again, yeah? So you still have a bit more movement, yeah? A bit more be a little bit more dynamic with it, okay? Same thing again for the person on the bottom. You're just trying to off balance by trying to make them sit or get their hands on the floor, yeah? So just add that little bit more movement into it now, okay? Sweet. Okay, new partners, give it a go. 1, 2, 3. You guys stay. Yuri. Woohoo! Woohoo! Nice. Lovely. Good. You're all right, mate. You good? Okay, muck in with these boys, these guys, yeah? Lovely. Ash jumping. You good? Yeah. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah. Jump next round. Nice, he's been keeping those feet on the hip, that's good. Remember to try and keep connection as best you can. Trying to keep connection as best you can. Beautiful. Okay, remember to keep switching. Oh yeah, you can't pass. Yeah, you can't pass. Yeah, so you're on your back. You go with Jack. You're gonna launch straight ash sweeping for days. Yeah. Oh, yep. Oh. Watch out for Ethan. Just careful a little bit. That's it. Ash, try and get his hands on the floor. Nice one, Ash. There's an armbar right there. Really good, really good. Real good, real good, real good. Okay, mate?
Where do you put hands on your toes?
Because my toes broke. Because my toes broke. Good. Yeah. Try and keep it as best I can. Yeah. Well, I think it does. I think it does. Well, that's what Google says. That's what Google says. Go with Ethan. Try and Ethan, you try and pass. You're trying to make him. You stay underneath, so you've got to try and sweep him. You know what you got to do. Try and get his hands on the floor or his butt on the floor. 50 seconds. Good, good. Time. Good work. Talk amongst yourselves. Give some feedback. Did you manage to? You got a couple of off balancing, which was good. Okay, cool. Did you manage to? How were you for retaining the guard then? How was that? Where you were trying to bring legs back in front of you and trying to stop the person coming round? Did that add another element to it, or was it? It did a little bit. Yeah. So when the person's moving around, as the person's moving, obviously changes their base slightly, doesn't it? So it does provide some affordance to be able to try and to put them on their back. Yeah. Not necessarily putting their hands on the floor. Not necessarily putting their hands on the floor, because if their base is moving, yeah, they're going to make the base is going to go from wide to small, and when they're small, they're off balance. Yeah, that off balance. Yeah, you may be able to bring them forward, but we were talking, we're going to be underneath them. If we're going to be underneath them, we want to bring them up. Yeah, or at least get their weight coming forward to put their hands on the floor. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're going to add another little element into this now. Now we're going to look to try and pass, but control the pass. Okay, so we're going to let's use Joe. Okay, so if you go on your back, we're going to add some points into this. So, person on the bottom, if you manage to put their hips on the floor or their hands on the floor, you get 2 points. Either, yeah, either or, okay? For me, I've got to try and pass by getting, this only counts if I get hip to hip, chest to chest, or chest to back. Yeah, so all the way around here. Okay, now, if I pass and I'm able to get any one of those passes, I'll get 2 points. Any one of those, yeah, where I control the person. There's a little wild card in here. If the person on the floor is able to retain the guard, yeah, by rolling onto their knees first, they win. Okay, so if they're able to roll to their knees first, okay, and retain a guard to get back to a guard, yeah, so get their legs back in front of them, they win. Reset. Straight win. Okay, all right. So, person on top, trying to pass, hip to hip, chest to chest, chest to back, yeah. Person on the bottom, you're trying to kazushi, which is Japanese for unbalancing, yeah. Just throw that in there, why not? Okay, we're cultured. Kezakatami, that is a position, correct, where you're going hip to hip. Relevant. The wild card, if they roll to their knees first and then get their legs back, it's a win for the person on the bottom. Cool? Mm-hmm. Right, let's do, this time we're going to do one person on the bottom for 3 minutes, same person on top, then we're going to switch. Cool? Good? Give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. You good with that, Ash? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, let's go. Ash is going to have to try and stay on the bottom. Sleeve grips again, yeah. Again, that common theme of keeping a connection, 2 points. No, reset. Remember, if you can get to your knees and regain the guard, you get a win. Oh, nice. I like that room. That was good. That was bounced right back. Nice. Nice. stacking, stacking, stacking. Ooh. Good. Good pass. We've got no wins yet. 30 seconds. 30 seconds left, we've got no wins. Time. Okay, let's go. Let's go. There's still not passed, still not passed, still not passed. Good, 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 good. Joe, you could do, you had it always there. You could do. Chest the back, chest the back. Not there yet, not there yet, not there yet. No, no, he didn't quite get the chest to the back. Ooh, nice, Joe. A half invert there, lovely. Ah, beautiful, sweet, Rachel. Very good. The hip to hip, or chest to chest, or chest to back. Nice. Still not quite there yet. It's close. Well, Joe, if you can get to your knees to then regard. Minute left. It's really good going, everybody. Nice one, Joe. "15 seconds. He did it, he did it, he did it. That was a war, that was. It was a war of attrition right there. Time, well done. All right, we didn't get any wins. Got some points there, right? But no one kept their points because no one ever does. Saw some nice stuff though, like some nice inverts and some nice off balancing. It was really cool. We forgot to go to my knees. Was anyone got any wins? No, nothing. Close here, and then he turned in. Tough, it was tough. That was good. It was good movement. Everyone cool? Anyone picked up on, wanting to clarify anything or see anything?
Well, Joe's hips so I can sort of try and pass is quite hard.
So try, yeah,
Not block something so I
to try and get round.
can. Yeah.
Was that when the legs were? What position were the legs in when you're doing that in front of you?
Oh. Various times.
Various positions, various ways.
Yeah.
Very good at the grips and pulling me forward, so then I couldn't.
So I think a lot of people are doing this though, which is really good. They've been very active with the feet and the hands, which is what we want and what we're trying to foster a little bit, is being very active. So you're pulling the upper body and you're pushing with the feet. Yeah, so you're very active, which is good, because there's a lot of times where people will just be very passive with everything. And if you're very passive, you may have a little bit of movement, but you're not really doing anything to actually off balance the person, because you're not actually putting any pressure on the hips. Yeah, so you're just kind of like sitting, okay, and waiting and not really doing much, and the person just stands there. Yeah, but actually putting pressure on the hips and pushing with that push and pull motion, you're actually bringing someone forward and you're able to sort of off balance, and you're seeing a lot of stuff like that, which is really good. Okay, I want to play this again because I want to see if anyone gets a win. Okay, so let's switch partners and have another go at this. Cool? All right. Yes.
Can the top person go down to their knees then?
Yes. Yes, you can. You can if you want to. Yeah? Okay, but hips touch the floor. That's a reset. Yeah, hands. If you're like off balance and both hands are on the floor and you're here, just fight your way back. Yeah, but if the hips hit the floor, because that will give the opportunity for the person to come up on top.
How about the hips touch the floor during the pass?
As in, if you're stepping, if you're controlled, if you've got the upper body controlled chest to chest, that's fine. Cool? Cool? I like this. How about this loophole? Okay, switch partners, play around with that. 1, 2, 3. Everyone good? All right, let's go. 3 minutes. 3 minutes and we change. Just pop out of the way a minute. I'm just going to give that a little push. There you go. Good, chest to chest. A little delicate.
Yep. I cannot balance me.
Ash, I want you to focus on trying to get his hands on the floor. Nice. Chest to back, lovely. Do it again, but put him in X guard. So you're going to start from X guard. Chris will explain. No, normal X guard. Under one arm, legs crossed at the back. So you need to step wider. No, that's the single leg X.
How do you actually do that?
That's it. And the other foot comes underneath.
Where?
Underneath. On there. Yeah, that's it. Squeeze your knees together.
Yeah. I'm off balance. I can feel I'm off balance.
Yeah. So you don't need to use it now. Hold a leg rather than holding the arm. Hold a leg. 50 seconds. Whoop. Nice. Woo. That was hip to hip. Hip to hip. Time. Great work. Everyone talk amongst yourselves, give some feedback with that one. Let's go. Start back with a single leg X. Play around with that position.
So try and get into that position. Okay.
There's a little belly. Shin shin. 40 seconds. Time. How was that round? Still no wins. Or did anyone get a win? I didn't see a win. Oh, you got a win? Got a win? I didn't see it. Gosh damn, I need to It's on camera, so I'll check that. I'll check it. I'll double check it. So what I found interesting was, even though, so we were playing around with this idea of off balance and off basing, which is great, and everyone was doing that real nice, and trying to find those opportunities to be able to put the person's hips on the floor, and that looked real good. The passing was good, again, looking again for the opportunities. But what was interesting, because I wanted to give like a big thing at the end to be like, right, you can get the win. Like, it wouldn't matter what points anyone's got, if you get the win, if you get to the knees and regain your guard. What's really interesting to me is, in my head, I was like, right, they're going to let them pass the guard so they can get to their knees and try and regain. No one did that. which was really interesting because I was like, oh no, everyone was like, no, I'm not going to let you pass my guard. You're still going to have to try and work for it. For me, I would have thought, yeah, it's quite interesting because everyone was like, no, I'm not playing your games. So I was like, in my head, I was like, this is going to be cool because it's going to like open up all these opportunities. Didn't open up anything. Everyone was like, no, I'm not going to let you pass, which is cool because the mentality was like, I'm not going to let you pass, which is really, it's a good mentality to have. So yeah, which is interesting. So obviously, if you're going to try and get to the knees to regain guard, you have to have the person get past your legs to regain the guard. You have to.
Shoved him that way, and then quickly went.
But he still needs to try and get. You still, if you shoved him in one way, he's still in a guard technically because your legs are still in front of you. Even if you come to your knees. We'll VAR it, mate. VAR. I'm going to VAR it. Okay, so we'll play around with it a little bit. I don't want to give away too much from my little ideas that I've got in my head, but it was quite interesting to see that. Cool. Anyone was like, this, I wanted to, is there anything else we could calibrate when I was doing this? I tried this almost worked. Is there a way I can make it better, or should I just try something else? Anything that?
He wants to see a
Kip up. X guard. Okay. So you were getting into single leg X, yeah, before. So a single leg X, I'm underneath the person and I have one foot up on the hip, yeah, here. So the leg goes in between, both my legs are in between, they come up, my hips are up in the air, I've got a foot on the hip and the other one is underneath the leg, yeah? So I'm X'd, my legs are X'd with their leg in between, okay? Now, X guard, a little bit different. X guard, I'm going to take this foot off of the hip and I put it onto the far hip, okay? So the leg is going from here, it's going onto the far hip, but it's going in between this way. I make an X with my legs underneath and now I can start extending out this way, okay? There's variations of this, okay? You can hold here or you can hold underneath. Both ways are fine, yeah? As long as you're controlling that back leg, okay? The nice thing with X guard is you're underneath the person, okay? So you can start to lift them up, yeah? So you can start to bring their hands on the floor to attack different things, yeah? Also though, if I'm here and the person starts to come upright, I can also take them backwards, okay? So I have options of both, which is nice, yeah? So it's a good position to play with if you get to that point, yeah? Cool? Right, let's do a few rounds then and call it a day. It's already 7:30 once again. It's already 7:30, so, but it's light.